Ioria tried to focus on her studies and interactions with her alien friends, but her thoughts kept drifting back to Clark and the tantalizing promise he made. Midnight approached, and she found herself trembling with anticipation, her nerves a tangled mess as she prepared to sneak out of her dorm. She knew it was a mistake to get involved with a human male, that it could only lead to trouble. But the temptation was too overwhelming to resist. As she arrived at the meeting spot, her heart raced wildly. Clark stood waiting, his tall silhouette outlined against the starry sky. His voice was low and seductive as he greeted her. "I knew you'd come," he whispered. "I don't know what I'm doing here," Ioria stammered, her voice trembling with uncertainty. In two long strides, Clark closed the distance between them. His hands cupped her face gently, his thumb brushing her lower lip. "Yes, you do," he murmured, leaning in. "You want to know what it's like to be with a human." Ioria's breath caught in her throat as his lips met hers, her body melting into his as if they were made for one another. His hands explored her curves, and she moaned softly, overwhelmed by sensations she had never experienced before. The heat between them grew with every touch, every kiss. They moved together, bodies in perfect harmony under the stars, their gasps and moans echoing into the night. When it was over, Ioria lay in Clark's arms, her body spent and her mind spinning. She knew their night of passion would have consequences. This forbidden connection could never be more than a fleeting moment, yet she couldn't bring herself to care. Clark whispered sweet nothings into her ear as they clung to one another, savoring the afterglow. Little did Ioria know this was only the beginning, a spark that would ignite something far more dangerous than either of them had imagined. In the days following their encounter, Ioria couldn't stop thinking about Clark and the mysteries of human physiology. Her mind should have been on her studies, but she found herself replaying the moments they shared. One day after class, she sought him out, finding him lounging on the campus quad. "Can I ask you something?" she asked, her voice trembling. "Of course," Clark said, patting the ground next to him. As she sat beside him, she blurted out, "Is it true that human males are always fertile? Isn't it exhausting to always be ready?" Clark laughed, his breath warm against her skin. "It's true," he said in a low voice. "We're always ready, anytime, anywhere." Ioria shivered at his words, feeling her body react to his nearness. "How long does it take for a human male to recover after mating?" she asked, her scientific curiosity overtaking her embarrassment. Clark's grin turned wicked as he leaned closer. "Not long at all. I could show you if you'd like," he teased. Ioria blushed, but curiosity overpowered her. She couldn't help but wonder if what had happened between them was unique or just a quirk of human biology. Despite the growing physical tension, Ioria forced herself to remain focused. "I really want to understand how human males think," she said softly. Clark's expression softened. "For us, it's more than just biology. It's a way of connecting with someone, expressing feelings and desires." Ioria's heart fluttered as she realized their connection was deepening beyond mere physical attraction. When Clark leaned in to kiss her again, the tenderness in his touch spoke of something more profound. "I think I'm starting to feel something for you," she whispered, her voice shaking. Clark smiled, his thumb brushing her lower lip. "I'm starting to feel the same way." They both knew the risks, the dangers of their forbidden bond, but they were willing to face it together. As the days passed, Ioria and Clark's relationship deepened, filled with tender moments and whispered confessions. They held each other close, knowing that their love was a powerful force that could bridge any divide, even the one between their species. Under the watchful stars, they vowed to face whatever challenges the universe threw their way. Their love had begun as something forbidden, but it had grown into something extraordinary, a love that could light the way through even the darkest of nights. It wasn't long before the reality of their situation began to set in. As much as Ioria and Clark tried to keep their growing relationship a secret, the tension between them became noticeable to those around them. Ioria's alien friends noticed her increasing distraction, her faraway glances, and the subtle changes in her behavior. Meanwhile, Clark's human classmates could see his preoccupation, his eagerness to slip away at odd hours. It wasn't just their friends who were becoming suspicious. The professors, especially those who taught interspecies relations and xenobiology, were quick to pick up on the tension. Ioria could feel their eyes on her in class, watching for signs of her distracted mind. Every question they asked seemed loaded with deeper meaning, as though they were trying to test her knowledge of human and alien dynamics. One afternoon, Ioria's closest friend, Kale, confronted her. Kale was from a race known for their emotional sensitivity, and it didn't take much for him to sense something was off. "You've been acting strange," he said, his voice laced with concern. "What's going on, Ioria? You can tell me." Ioria froze, unsure of what to say. Could she confide in Kale? Would he understand, or would he judge her? She had no idea how her alien friends would react to the idea of her being with a human male. "It's nothing," she replied quickly, too quickly. Kale's eyes narrowed in suspicion, but he didn't press her further. Despite her best efforts to keep their relationship secret, Ioria and Clark's meetings became riskier. One night, while they were together under the stars, Clark's comm device buzzed, a message lighting up the screen. He frowned as he read it. "It's from the administration," he said, glancing up at Ioria with concern. "They've noticed a shift in our patterns, and they're keeping an eye on us." Ioria's heart sank. They had both known there would be consequences, but she hadn't expected it to happen so soon. "What are we going to do?" she whispered. "We'll have to be more careful," Clark said, cupping her face. "We can't let them tear us apart." But the warning weighed heavily on Ioria's mind. She had heard stories about students who had broken the rules, who had dared to pursue forbidden relationships. Some were expelled, while others were sent back to their home planets, never to return. The thought of being separated from Clark was unbearable. The tension grew, and Ioria found herself standing at a crossroads. She knew the risks of continuing her relationship with Clark, but the pull she felt toward him was undeniable. Every time they touched, every time they kissed, she felt something deep inside her that she had never felt before. It wasn't just physical, it was emotional, something far more profound. But with every day that passed, the pressure from the administration increased. Ioria's friends started asking more questions, and her professors grew colder. She knew it was only a matter of time before they were discovered. The consequences would be severe. One evening, Ioria and Clark met in secret, their usual spot hidden deep in the observatory where they had first kissed. The stars above seemed brighter than usual, as though the universe itself was watching them. "I can't keep doing this," Ioria said softly, her voice filled with both love and fear. "I can't keep hiding." Clark's jaw tightened, but he nodded, understanding the weight of her words. "What do you want to do, Ioria?" he asked, his voice gentle. "If you want to end this, I won't stop you. But know that I'll fight for us, no matter what." Tears filled Ioria's eyes as she looked at him. How could she walk away from something so powerful? But how could she risk everything she had worked for, her studies, her future? "I don't want to lose you," she whispered. "You won't," Clark said, stepping closer. "We'll find a way. There's always a way." As the pressure mounted, Clark came up with a bold plan. They would leave the academy for a while, disappear into the vastness of the galaxy where they could be free from the rules and expectations of others. He had connections on different planets, places where they could lay low and be together without fear of being discovered. "We'll come back when things have settled," Clark assured her. "But for now, we need to get away before it's too late." Ioria's heart raced at the thought. It was a dangerous idea, but the thought of escaping with Clark, of being free to explore their love without fear, was too tempting to resist. They began to prepare, gathering what little they would need for their journey. Clark secured transport off the planet, and Ioria made arrangements to cover their tracks, ensuring that no one would follow them. It wasn't easy, and the fear of being caught gnawed at her constantly. The night of their escape arrived, and Ioria's heart pounded as they slipped away from the academy. The sky was clear, the stars shining brighter than ever. The shuttle waited for them just beyond the academy's perimeter, hidden from sight. As they boarded, Ioria felt a rush of emotions, fear, excitement, love. She glanced at Clark, who squeezed her hand reassuringly. "We're going to be okay," he said, his voice steady. "I promise." As the shuttle lifted off the ground, Ioria looked out at the stars, her heart swelling with both anticipation and uncertainty. They were leaving behind everything they had known, venturing into the unknown. But for the first time, Ioria felt truly free. She had Clark by her side, and together, they would face whatever challenges lay ahead. The universe was vast, filled with both dangers and wonders, but with their love as their guide, they were ready to face it all. Their journey had only just begun, and whatever the future held, Ioria knew one thing for certain. They would face it together, no matter what. As the shuttle streaked through the endless darkness of space, Ioria and Clark sat side by side, the hum of the engines filling the silence between them. For the first time in days, there was no tension, no fear of being watched. Yet the enormity of their decision weighed heavily on both of them. "I can't believe we actually did it," Ioria said, her voice barely above a whisper. We've left everything behind. Clark turned to her, his hand squeezing hers gently. We had to. We couldn't keep living in fear. The stars outside the window twinkled like distant promises, beckoning them forward into an uncertain future. Ioria leaned her head on Clark's shoulder, drawing comfort from his presence. But even as they sped away from the academy, doubt lingered in the corners of her mind. What would happen when they were found? Could they ever truly escape the consequences of their actions? We need to stay smart, Clark said, as though reading her thoughts. We'll lie low for a while, then figure out our next steps. There are places in the galaxy where we can live freely. Places where no one will care about us being together. Ioria nodded, but the gnawing anxiety refused to leave her. Do you think they'll come after us? They might, Clark admitted. But by the time they realize we're gone, we'll be long out of their reach. The plan felt solid, but nothing could erase the knowledge that their love was forbidden. The Academy wasn't just any institution, it was one of the galaxy's most prestigious. They didn't take kindly to students breaking their carefully crafted interspecies codes. After days of travel, the shuttle finally arrived at a remote spaceport on a planet at the edge of known space. The planet, a lush world named Cerealis, was home to a small population of nomadic settlers and traders. It was the perfect place to disappear for a while. Clark had arranged for them to stay in a secluded settlement nestled among the dense, shimmering forests that stretched out as far as the eye could see. The atmosphere was rich with the scent of strange, exotic flora, and the skies were alive with the colors of the setting suns. This is it, Clark said as they stepped off the shuttle, breathing in the fresh air. Our new beginning. Ioria took in the beauty of the planet, but a small part of her still felt unsettled. While Cerealis was breathtaking, she knew they couldn't stay here forever. It's beautiful, she murmured. But how long can we stay hidden? As long as we need to, Clark replied, guiding her toward their temporary home, a small, cozy dwelling tucked away from the bustling markets and busy traders. It was a place of quiet, a refuge. Here, for the first time, they could be themselves without fear of judgment. The days passed in relative peace on Cerealis, and Ioria found herself slowly adjusting to the quiet life they had created. They spent their time exploring the forests, marveling at the strange wildlife and the crystal-clear rivers that wound through the land. In the evenings, they would sit beneath the dual suns, their hands intertwined as they watched the sky shift from gold to violet. But as the days turned into weeks, Ioria couldn't shake the feeling that this serenity wouldn't last. She would wake in the night, her dreams haunted by visions of the Academy's officers tracking them down, pulling her away from Clark. Clark sensed her unease, but he never wavered. He was always there, reassuring her, holding her close when the fear became too much. We're safe here, he would whisper into her ear. No one knows where we are. And for a time, it was enough. The world outside seemed far away, almost as though it had forgotten them. But in her heart, Ioria knew the galaxy was vast, and news could travel far. One morning, as Ioria and Clark were enjoying a peaceful breakfast, the calm was shattered by the sound of an approaching ship. It wasn't uncommon for traders to pass through Cerealis, but something about the sound of this ship set Ioria's heart racing. Clark's eyes darkened with concern. Stay inside, he said, standing up and moving toward the door. Ioria's pulse quickened. Clark, what is it? He didn't answer right away, his gaze fixed on the sky. After a tense pause, he spoke. It's not a trader ship. Fear surged through Ioria as she stood up, joining Clark at the door. In the distance, she could see the sleek form of an official-looking craft descending toward the spaceport. It was far too advanced for a simple trading vessel. Her stomach churned with dread. They've found us, Ioria whispered, her voice trembling. Clark's jaw tightened. Maybe, he said, though his tone wasn't convincing. But we don't know for sure. They waited anxiously as the ship landed. Clark's hand slipped into hers, squeezing tightly. If they're here for us, we'll leave. We'll go further into the wilderness, where they won't be able to track us. Ioria nodded, but her heart was pounding in her chest. The tranquil life they had built seemed to hang by a thread, and all it would take was one slip, one moment of recognition, for everything to unravel. As the ship's ramp lowered and its occupants began to emerge, Ioria and Clark retreated into the shadows of the forest. They moved quickly but silently, slipping through the undergrowth toward the deeper parts of the woods. They couldn't take any chances. If it was the Academy's officials, they couldn't afford to be seen. We need to get off this planet, Clark whispered as they moved further into the forest. They'll have records. If they don't find us at the settlement, they'll start looking. But where will we go? Ioria asked, her breath ragged from both the running and the fear gripping her chest. Clark didn't answer immediately. His mind was already working, calculating the next step in their escape. There are planets even further out, he finally said. Places beyond the reach of the Academy. We'll find one. The urgency of their flight weighed heavily on Ioria. They couldn't keep running forever. But as they disappeared into the depths of the forest, she knew one thing for certain. As long as they were together, they would face whatever came next. As night fell, Ioria and Clark found a small, hidden clearing deep within the forest. The trees formed a natural barrier, shielding them from sight and providing a temporary refuge. They set up a makeshift camp, their movements quick and efficient, but with an air of barely concealed anxiety. Clark's mind was already racing through their options. We'll need to find a way off this planet soon, he said, his tone brooking no argument. But we can't just leave without a plan. We need to be careful. Ioria sat by the fire, her gaze fixed on the flickering flames. She felt a mix of emotions, fear, frustration, but also a strange sense of hope. She had always dreamed of exploring the galaxy, but not like this. This was an escape, not an adventure. What if they track us here? She asked quietly, her voice barely audible over the crackling fire. Clark looked at her, his expression softening. We'll stay hidden for as long as we can. And if they do find us, we'll be ready. We have to be. They spent the night in uneasy slumber, the forest around them alive with the sounds of nocturnal creatures. The clearing, though beautiful, felt fragile, as though it might shatter with the arrival of their pursuers. The following morning, Clark and Ioria set out to scout the area, looking for any signs of the approaching officials or a means to leave Sirialis. They moved cautiously, avoiding any areas that might be under surveillance. After several hours of searching, they stumbled upon a small, discreet outpost, a hidden spaceport operated by a group of smugglers. The spaceport was tucked away in a canyon, shielded from prying eyes by natural rock formations. Clark's eyes lit up with hope as they approached. This might be our way out, he said, a note of relief in his voice. If we can negotiate passage, we might be able to get off Sirialis before they find us. They entered the outpost cautiously, their senses alert. The spaceport was busy with the hustle and bustle of smugglers and traders, but there was a sense of anonymity that came with being among so many people. Clark approached one of the smugglers, a grizzled alien with a reputation for discretion. He spoke in low tones, negotiating for transport to a distant, uncharted planet. Ioria waited nearby, her heart in her throat as she watched Clark's interactions. After what felt like hours, Clark returned with a grim smile. We have a deal, he said, his voice low. The smuggler will take us to a planet called Verida Prime. It's on the fringes of known space, and it's known for its lawlessness, perfect for laying low. Ioria nodded, her anxiety momentarily eased by the prospect of escaping Sirialis. When do we leave? Tonight, Clark replied. We need to be quick. The longer we stay, the greater the risk. They spent the rest of the day preparing for their departure, making sure they had everything they needed for the journey. As the sun set, they boarded the smuggler's ship, a rugged vessel designed for speed and stealth. As the ship ascended from Sirialis, Ioria felt a mix of relief and lingering fear. The planet's surface receded below them, and the vastness of space stretched out before them. For the first time in days, they were moving away from danger. But as the ship entered hyperspace, their relief was short-lived. The ship's sensors picked up a signal, a tracking beacon from Sirialis. Someone had discovered their escape and had sent a pursuit ship after them. Hold on, Clark said, his voice tense. We're not out of the woods yet. The smuggler engaged the ship's cloaking device, and the vessel became nearly invisible to sensors. Ioria could feel her heart pounding as they maneuvered through space, trying to evade their pursuers. Hours stretched into what felt like an eternity, but finally, the pursuit ship's signal faded. They were safe for now. Clark exhaled deeply, turning to Ioria with a weary smile. We've lost them. The journey to Verida Prime was long, but the smuggler's ship finally emerged from hyperspace. The planet was a rugged, harsh world with vast deserts and rocky terrain. It was a stark contrast to the lush forests of Sirialis, but it offered the anonymity they needed. As they descended into the planet's atmosphere, Ioria looked out at the barren landscape below. This place is so different, she said, her voice tinged with awe and trepidation. Clark nodded. It is. But it's also a place where we can start over. We'll have to be cautious and stay low-key, but we'll be safe here. They landed in a small, makeshift settlement on Verida Prime, a rough-and-tumble place where the law was more of a suggestion than a rule. The settlement was a haven for those looking to disappear, and it was just what they needed. As they disembarked and settled into their new surroundings, Ioria and Clark began to build a new life on Verida Prime. They found a small, modest residence in the outskirts of the settlement, away from the prying eyes of the more curious inhabitants. Life on Verida Prime was tough but manageable. They adapted quickly, finding work and establishing a routine. The harsh environment and the rough-and-tumble nature of the settlement kept them on their toes, but also provided them with the freedom they so desperately needed. They spent their days working and exploring the planet, and their nights were filled with quiet moments of reflection. The weight of their past was always there, but they found solace in the fact that they had each other. Months passed, and Ioria and Clark began to feel a sense of normalcy. They had made a home for themselves on Verida Prime, and their love had only grown stronger through the trials they had faced. They had weathered the storm and found a place where they could be together without fear. One evening, as they sat together under the stars, Ioria reflected on their journey. "We've come so far," she said softly, "and despite everything, I wouldn't change a thing." Clark looked at her, his eyes filled with love. "Neither would I. We've faced so much, but we've made it through together. And that's what matters." As they held each other close, looking out at the vast expanse of stars, Ioria knew that their future was uncertain, but they were ready to face whatever came next. They had found their place in the universe, a place where their love could flourish, free from the constraints of the past. In the end, they had discovered that love was the most powerful force in the galaxy, capable of overcoming any obstacle and lighting the way through even the darkest nights. And as they looked to the future, they did so with hope, knowing that as long as they were together, they could face anything. Though Ioria and Clark had managed to carve out a semblance of normalcy on Verida Prime, the challenges of their new life were not without their own difficulties. The harsh environment of the planet and the rough nature of the settlement tested their resilience and adaptability daily. One morning, Ioria woke to find the settlement in an uproar. A sandstorm, one of the most violent in recent memory, was sweeping across the region. The wind howled, and the sand whipped through the air, creating a chaotic scene. "Clark!" Ioria shouted over the storm's roar as she hurried to their small home. "We need to get inside." Clark grabbed her hand, pulling her into the shelter they had fortified against such storms. They huddled together, the noise of the storm deafening outside. The storm raged for hours, and Ioria's anxiety was palpable. Once the storm finally subsided, they emerged to assess the damage. Their home had survived, but the settlement was left in disarray. It was a stark reminder of the planet's unforgiving nature and the reality of their new life. As they settled back into their routine, Ioria and Clark began to form connections with some of the locals. The settlement was home to a diverse group of individuals, each with their own stories and reasons for being on Verida Prime. One of their new friends, Jax, was a former trader with a wealth of knowledge about the planet and its various factions. Jax had taken a liking to them and often shared valuable information about the best ways to navigate the complex social landscape of the settlement. Over time, Jax became a trusted ally, offering support and advice as they navigated their new life. The friendship provided them with a sense of belonging and stability that they had not anticipated. One afternoon, while Ioria and Clark were working on repairs to their home, they were visited by a figure from their past. A representative from the Academy had tracked them to Verida Prime. The representative, a stern-looking woman named Dr. Alara, was known for her dedication to upholding the Academy's regulations. She was not here to arrest them, but to deliver a message. Ioria Clark, Dr. Alara said, her tone businesslike but not unkind. "The Academy has chosen to offer a pardon." Ioria and Clark exchanged shocked glances. "A pardon?" Ioria repeated. "Why?" Dr. Alara sighed. "Your situation has garnered significant attention. The Academy is willing to overlook your infractions under certain conditions. They want to see you return to complete your studies, but on the condition that you adhere strictly to the regulations." Clark frowned. "And if we refuse?" Dr. Alara's expression remained neutral. "Then you remain fugitives, and there will be no further opportunities for amnesty. The choice is yours." The offer of a pardon was both tempting and daunting. The chance to return to their previous lives, to complete their studies, and possibly return to a more stable existence was alluring. Yet the thought of returning to the Academy and the scrutiny that would follow was unsettling. They spent days discussing their options, weighing the pros and cons of returning to the Academy versus continuing their life on Verida Prime. The decision was not easy, and both felt the weight of their choice keenly. "I can't deny that the Academy offered us a future," Ioria said one evening as they sat under the stars. "But can we ever truly be free if we go back?" Clark took her hand, his expression thoughtful. "Returning means going back to the constraints we tried to escape. But it also means a chance to secure our future without constantly looking over our shoulders." In the end, they decided to decline the pardon. Their time on Verida Prime had given them a sense of freedom and a glimpse of a different life. They were determined to make it work, no matter the challenges. With their decision made, Ioria and Clark focused on building their life on Verida Prime. They embraced the challenges of their new world and continued to develop their skills and relationships within the settlement. Their home became a place of warmth and comfort, a sanctuary amidst the harshness of the planet. They worked together to improve their surroundings, making their small piece of Verida Prime a place they could truly call their own. As they settled into their new life, Ioria and Clark found joy in the simple things: a shared meal, a quiet evening under the stars, the satisfaction of hard work. Their love continued to grow, deepening through the shared experiences and the trials they faced together. Years passed, and Ioria and Clark's life on Verida Prime flourished. They had built a life filled with love, friendship, and a sense of purpose. Their experiences had forged them into a strong and resilient pair, and they had created a community of their own. They became known in the settlement for their contributions and their unwavering support of others. Ioria used her knowledge to help improve the technology and infrastructure of the settlement, while Clark's skills and connections proved invaluable in maintaining the delicate balance of their new life. As they looked back on their journey, they were filled with a sense of accomplishment. They had faced countless challenges and had emerged stronger for it. Their love had been tested, but it had endured, becoming a testament to their strength and commitment. One evening, as they stood together on a ridge overlooking the vast expanse of Verida Prime, Ioria and Clark reflected on their journey. The planet had become their home, a place where they had found peace and purpose. "We've come a long way," Clark said, his voice filled with contentment. "And we've built something truly special here." Ioria smiled, her eyes filled with gratitude and love. "More than I could have ever imagined. We took a leap of faith, and it brought us to a place where we can truly be ourselves." They stood together, watching the stars as they began to shine brightly in the twilight sky. The universe stretched out before them, full of possibilities and endless horizons. As they embraced, Ioria and Clark knew that their future was unwritten. They faced it with hope and determination, knowing that whatever challenges lay ahead, they would face them together. Their love had been the guiding light that had brought them to this moment, and it would continue to lead them forward. And so, beneath the vast expanse of stars, Ioria and Clark looked to the future with optimism, ready to embrace whatever came next in their journey through the cosmos. Life on Verida Prime had settled into a comforting routine, but the galaxy was never truly at rest. As Ioria and Clark continued their work and built their life together, they started receiving whispers of an emerging threat, a new faction rising in power that was disturbing the delicate balance of the galaxy. One day, a mysterious figure arrived at their settlement. The figure, cloaked and hooded, requested a private meeting with Clark. The visitor was an old acquaintance from Clark's past, a former colleague named Elon who had come with a plea for help. "Clark," Elon said in a low voice as they met in the dim light of their home, "I've come to ask for your assistance. There's a faction called the Vortex Collective. They're destabilizing planets, including those near Verida Prime. They have the capability to disrupt entire systems." Clark's face darkened with concern. "And why should I help you?" Elon's eyes were earnest. "Because you have the skills and knowledge to make a difference. The collective's actions could eventually threaten Verida Prime and everything you've built here. We need to stop them before it's too late." Ioria watched the exchange, her heart racing. The prospect of getting involved in galactic politics was daunting, but the threat was real. Clark turned to Ioria, seeking her opinion. "I know this is sudden, but we might need to get involved." Ioria took a deep breath. "If it's as serious as Elon says, then we have to do something. We can't stand by and let this threat grow." The decision made, Clark, Ioria, and Elon began to formulate a plan to counter the Vortex Collective. They reached out to old contacts and allies, gathering information and resources. Their efforts quickly expanded to include a network of rebels, former military personnel, and diplomats who had also been affected by the collective's rise. They discovered that the Vortex Collective was led by a charismatic and ruthless leader named Zephyr. Zephyr's ultimate goal was to establish dominion over the galaxy through a series of coordinated attacks and manipulations. "We need to hit them where it hurts," Elon explained as they review their strategy. "Their power lies in their ability to sow chaos. We need to counteract their plans and disrupt their operations." The team worked tirelessly, using their collective expertise to gather intelligence and plan their actions. Ioria's knowledge of technology and Clark's tactical skills proved invaluable in devising a strategy to confront the collective. The first phase of their plan was to infiltrate one of the collective's key supply bases. Clark, Ioria, and a small team of operatives managed to secure a covert entry into the base, posing as suppliers. The base was heavily guarded, with advanced security systems and a complex network of corridors. The team moved cautiously, using stealth and technology to avoid detection. As they navigated through the base, they discovered crucial information about the collective's operations, including plans for future attacks and a list of key targets. This intel was vital for planning their next moves and countering the collective's strategies. The infiltration was a success, but it came with its own set of challenges. The team narrowly escaped detection and returned to their base with valuable information. With the information they had gathered, Clark and Ioria coordinated a series of counterattacks against the Vortex Collective. They targeted supply lines, disrupted communications, and launched coordinated strikes against the collective's operations. The battles were intense and fraught with danger. The collective's forces were formidable, and each victory came at cost. But with each successful operation, the team weakened the collective's grip and rallied more support from systems affected by the chaos. Ioria and Clark fought side by side, their bond strengthened by the trials they faced. Their love and commitment to each other became a source of strength in the heat of battle. As the conflict reached its peak, the final confrontation with Zephyr became inevitable. The team devised a plan to strike directly at the heart of the collective's operations, an attack on their central command. The battle was fierce and unforgiving. Zephyr's forces were well prepared, and the fighting was brutal. But with determination and courage, Clark and Ioria led their allies through the chaos. They confronted Zephyr in a dramatic showdown, a confrontation that tested their resolve and their abilities. In a fierce battle of wits and combat, they managed to outmaneuver Zephyr and bring an end to the immediate threat posed by the collective. With the Vortex Collective defeated, the galaxy began to stabilize. Systems affected by the collective's actions started to recover, and the threat of widespread chaos was diminished. The victory was hard-won, and the scars of battle were evident. But Ioria and Clark found solace in the fact that their efforts had made a difference. They had played a crucial role in restoring balance and securing a future for the galaxy. The victory was bittersweet. The battles had taken their toll, and the loss of friends and allies was deeply felt. But the experience had forged new bonds and renewed their sense of purpose. As the galaxy began to heal, Ioria and Clark returned to Verida Prime, their home now a symbol of resilience and hope. The settlement had weathered the storm and emerged stronger for it. They resumed their life on Verida Prime, but their experiences had changed them. They were more aware of the galaxy's complexities and the impact they could have on it. Their love continued to grow, deepened by their shared experiences and their commitment to each other. They worked to rebuild and support their community, using their knowledge and skills to contribute to a brighter future. Years later, as they stood together on the ridge overlooking Verida Prime, Ioria and Clark reflected on their journey. The planet had become a beacon of hope and resilience, and their life together was a testament to their strength and love. "We've come a long way," Ioria said, her voice filled with contentment. "And we've built something truly remarkable." Clark nodded, his gaze filled with pride and affection. "It's been a journey filled with challenges and triumphs, but we've faced it all together." They looked out at the stars, the vastness of the galaxy stretching out before them. The future was bright with possibilities, and they faced it with optimism and hope. As they embraced, Ioria and Clark knew that their journey was far from over. They would continue to explore, to build, and to face whatever challenges came their way. Together, they were ready to embrace the future and make a difference in the galaxy. And so, beneath the stars and the vast expanse of the universe, Ioria and Clark looked to the future with hope and determination, ready to face whatever came next in their ongoing adventure. With the Vortex Collective's defeat, a fragile peace settled over the galaxy. However, the echoes of the conflict lingered, leaving scars that needed healing. The galaxy's recovery was slow, and many systems required assistance to rebuild and restore order. Ioria and Clark dedicated their efforts to aiding in the reconstruction of war-torn regions. They traveled to various systems, offering their expertise and support to those in need. Their work was tireless, but they found fulfillment in the positive impact they were making. During their travels, they encountered individuals and communities affected by the conflict. They listened to their stories, offered aid, and helped implement solutions to address the long-term effects of the war. Their efforts were instrumental in fostering cooperation and rebuilding trust among the systems. In the wake of the conflict, a new alliance began to form, an initiative to promote unity and collaboration among the galaxy's diverse systems. This alliance aimed to prevent future conflicts and ensure that the mistakes of the past were not repeated. Ioria and Clark were invited to play a role in this new alliance. Their experiences and insights were valuable in shaping the policies and strategies of the alliance. They participated in diplomatic meetings, provided input on security measures, and helped establish protocols for conflict resolution. The alliance faced its own challenges, including resistance from factions that were reluctant to relinquish power. But Ioria and Clark's dedication to the cause helped to build momentum and gain support. Their contributions were vital in laying the foundation for a more stable and cooperative future. Amidst the busy schedule of diplomatic meetings and aid missions, Ioria and Clark took time for personal reflection. They often found solace in quiet moments together, away from the demands of their roles. One evening, as they sat together on the edge of a serene lake on Verida Prime, they reflected on their journey. The tranquility of the setting offered a stark contrast to the turbulence they had faced. "I can hardly believe how much has changed," Ioria said softly, her eyes gazing at the calm waters. "We've come so far from the days of escaping the academy." Clark nodded, his expression thoughtful. "It's been a remarkable journey. We've faced so many challenges, but we've grown stronger together." Their conversation turned to their hopes for the future. They discussed their dreams and aspirations, both personal and shared. They envisioned a future where they could continue to contribute to the galaxy's well-being while also finding time for their own pursuits and passions. As the alliance solidified and peace began to take root, Ioria and Clark decided to focus on a new project, a research initiative aimed at advancing technology and understanding within the galaxy. Their goal was to create innovations that would benefit various systems and promote further collaboration. They established a research center on Verida Prime, bringing together scientists, engineers, and scholars from across the galaxy. The center became a hub of innovation and discovery, with projects ranging from environmental sustainability to medical advancements. The research center flourished, becoming a beacon of progress and hope. Ioria and Clark's leadership and vision were instrumental in its success. They worked closely with the team, guiding research efforts and fostering a collaborative environment. Years passed, and Ioria and Clark's contributions to the galaxy became widely recognized. Their work had a lasting impact, and they were celebrated for their efforts in promoting peace, innovation, and cooperation. Their love, forged through trials and triumphs, remained a central part of their lives. They continued to support each other, their bond growing deeper with each passing day. Their relationship was a testament to the strength of their connection and their commitment to one another. As they approached a new phase of their lives, they looked back on their journey with pride and gratitude. They had faced immense challenges, but their love and determination had guided them through. As they prepared for their next adventure, Ioria and Clark began to think about the legacy they wanted to leave behind. They wanted to ensure that their work and values would continue to inspire future generations. They decided to mentor young leaders and innovators, sharing their knowledge and experiences with those who would carry on their mission. They established scholarship programs and training initiatives to support the next generation of thinkers and doers. Their efforts to nurture and inspire young talent bore fruit, with many of their mints going on to make significant contributions to the galaxy. The legacy of Ioria and Clark's work lived on through the achievements of those they had guided. With their legacy established and their mission fulfilled, Ioria and Clark looked forward to the future with excitement and optimism. They continued to explore new opportunities and embrace the adventures that lay ahead. Their lives were filled with purpose and joy as they continued to make a difference in the galaxy. They remained dedicated to their work, their love, and their shared vision of a better future. As they stood together under the stars, Ioria and Clark knew that their journey was far from over. They were ready to face whatever challenges came their way, confident in their love and their commitment to each other. In the vast expanse of the galaxy, they had found their place and their purpose. And as they embraced the future, they did so with hope, determination, and a deep sense of fulfillment. With the galaxy's political landscape stabilizing, Ioria and Clark were invited to participate in a major diplomatic summit. This summit was a pivotal moment for the new alliance, aimed at addressing lingering disputes and solidifying long-term agreements. The summit brought together representatives from various systems and factions. It was a grand event held in a state-of-the-art conference center designed to facilitate open dialogue and collaboration. The atmosphere was a mix of excitement and tension, with high stakes for all involved. Ioria and Clark played crucial roles in the negotiations. Their first-hand experience and understanding of the galaxy's diverse needs allowed them to mediate between conflicting parties and propose innovative solutions. Their efforts were instrumental in forging new agreements and strengthening the alliance. The summit concluded with a series of landmark agreements that promised to enhance cooperation and address key issues facing the galaxy. The success of the summit marked a significant step towards lasting peace and unity. Despite the progress made, not all was serene in the galaxy. As Ioria and Clark returned to their work at the research center, they discovered signs of a hidden threat. Reports of unusual activities and covert operations emerged, suggesting that remnants of the Vortex Collective or other rogue factions were still active. The threat was subtle but dangerous. It involved sabotage, espionage, and attempts to undermine the progress achieved. Ioria and Clark worked with their network of allies to investigate and counter these threats. Their efforts led to the discovery of a secret organization working behind the scenes to disrupt the newly formed alliances. This group sought to exploit the galaxy's vulnerabilities and create chaos for their own gain. The battle against the hidden threat required a different approach. Ioria and Clark focused on intelligence gathering and counter-sabotage efforts. They collaborated with security experts and intelligence officers to uncover the organization's plans and neutralize their operations. The investigation revealed that the organization had infiltrated key sectors, including technology and security. Their aim was to create systemic failures that could be blamed on the new alliance's shortcomings. Clark led a team to address these vulnerabilities, implementing security enhancements and countermeasures. Ioria's expertise in technology played a vital role in identifying and neutralizing the organization's sabotage attempts. As they closed in on the secret organization, Ioria and Clark prepared for a final confrontation. They had gathered enough evidence to expose the organization's activities and confront its leaders. The showdown took place in a remote facility where the organization's operations were centered. The confrontation was intense, involving a combination of tactical maneuvers and technological warfare. Ioria and Clark faced off against the organization's leaders, who were determined to achieve their goals regardless of the cost. The battle was fierce, but Ioria and Clark's resolve and expertise led to a decisive victory. The organization's leaders were captured, and their plans to destabilize the galaxy were thwarted. With the hidden threat neutralized, the galaxy began to breathe easier. The disruption caused by the secret organization had been significant, but the efforts of Ioria, Clark, and their allies had ensured that the damage was contained. The aftermath of the confrontation brought a period of reflection and recovery. The galaxy's systems worked together to address the vulnerabilities exposed by the organization's activities. Lessons learned from the experience led to further improvements in security and cooperation. Ioria and Clark continued their work, focusing on reinforcing the alliances and promoting stability. Their experiences had deepened their understanding of the galaxy's complexities and strengthened their commitment to their mission. Amidst the ongoing work and the recovery process, Ioria and Clark took time to focus on their personal journey. They reflected on their growth and the changes they had experienced since their early days on Verida Prime. Their relationship had evolved, becoming a source of strength and inspiration. They continued to support each other, finding joy in the simple moments and celebrating their achievements. One evening, as they walked through the fields of Verida Prime, they discussed their plans for the future. They talked about their aspirations and the legacy they wanted to leave behind. "I think we've accomplished so much," Ioria said, her voice filled with warmth. "But there's always more to do." Clark nodded, his gaze filled with affection. "There's always more to explore and discover. And as long as we're together, we can face anything." With their personal and professional lives flourishing, Ioria and Clark began to explore new horizons. They decided to embark on a new adventure, one that would take them beyond the boundaries of their current work and into uncharted territories. Their journey would involve exploring new planets, discovering unknown cultures, and continuing their mission of fostering peace and collaboration. It was an exciting opportunity to expand their horizons and contribute to the galaxy in new ways. As they prepared for their next adventure, Ioria and Clark were filled with anticipation and hope. Their journey had been remarkable, but they knew that the universe still held many mysteries and opportunities. As Ioria and Clark set out on their new adventure, they left behind a legacy of love, dedication, and progress. Their work had made a significant impact on the galaxy, and their contributions would be remembered for years to come. Their story was one of courage, resilience, and the power of love. They had faced countless challenges and overcome them with determination and teamwork. Their journey had inspired many and paved the way for a brighter future. And so, as they ventured into the unknown, Ioria and Clark embraced the future with optimism and excitement. They were ready to continue their journey, explore new worlds, and make a difference in the galaxy. Their legacy was not just in their achievements, but in the love and commitment they had shared. It was a testament to the strength of their bond and their dedication to creating a better universe. As they looked out at the stars, Ioria and Clark knew that their adventure was far from over. The galaxy was vast and full of possibilities, and they were ready to embrace whatever came next. And so, their story continued, an ongoing adventure filled with wonder, discovery, and the enduring power of love. With their new mission underway, Ioria and Clark ventured into the uncharted frontier of the galaxy. This region was known for its mysterious phenomena and potential for groundbreaking discoveries. Their ship, equipped with advanced technology and scientific instruments, was ready for the challenges ahead. Their journey took them to a series of unexplored planets and star systems. Each new world presented unique environments and challenges, from harsh climates to unusual life forms. They conducted research, mapped uncharted territories, and engaged with alien species they had never encountered before. One of their most significant discoveries was a planet with ancient ruins that hinted at a lost civilization. The ruins were intricately designed and appeared to be technologically advanced. Ioria and Clark were fascinated by the potential knowledge and history hidden within these structures. As they explored the ruins, Ioria and Clark uncovered evidence of a once great civilization that had vanished long ago. The technology they discovered was far beyond anything currently known, and the artifacts they found suggested a deep understanding of both science and spirituality. The team carefully studied the artifacts, decoding inscriptions and analyzing technological devices. They found clues about the civilization's rise and fall, revealing a complex history of achievements and conflicts. The findings had the potential to reshape current understanding of galactic history. The discovery attracted the attention of scholars and historians across the galaxy. Ioria and Clark organized an expedition to further explore the ruins and share their findings with a broader scientific community. Their work on the lost civilization became a major focus of their research and opened new avenues of exploration. To share their discoveries and foster collaboration, Ioria and Clark organized a galactic symposium. This event brought together experts from various fields to discuss the implications of the lost civilization and other recent findings. The symposium was a grand occasion, held in a state-of-the-art conference facility designed to accommodate participants from different worlds. The event featured presentations, panel discussions, and workshops on a range of topics, from ancient technologies to interstellar diplomacy. Ioria and Clark presented their research on the lost civilization, highlighting their findings and inviting input from other experts. The symposium sparked lively discussions and collaborations, leading to new research projects and initiatives. As the symposium concluded and the excitement of their discoveries continued, Ioria and Clark faced an unexpected challenge. A new faction, known as the Dark Enclave, emerged as a potential threat to the stability of the galaxy. The Dark Enclave sought to exploit the knowledge of the lost civilization for their own gain. They aimed to harness the advanced technology and knowledge for nefarious purposes, posing a significant risk to the progress made by the Alliance. Ioria and Clark, along with their allies, prepared to confront this new threat. They worked to gather intelligence on the Dark Enclave's activities and devise strategies to prevent them from obtaining and misusing the ancient technology. The conflict with the Dark Enclave was intense. The faction had powerful resources and a strategic advantage, making them a formidable opponent. Ioria and Clark led their team in a series of battles and operations to counter the Enclave's advances. The struggle involved both direct combat and covert operations. Ioria used her technological expertise to counteract the Enclave's attempts to gain control of the ancient technology, while Clark's tactical skills guided their forces in strategic engagements. The battles were hard-fought, and the stakes were high. The Dark Enclave's ambitions threatened to undo the progress achieved by the Alliance and endanger the galaxy's future. But Ioria and Clark's determination and leadership played a crucial role in resisting and eventually defeating the Enclave. With the Dark Enclave defeated, the galaxy faced a period of reconciliation and recovery. The conflict had taken a toll on many systems, and efforts were needed to heal the wounds and rebuild trust. Ioria and Clark continued their work, focusing on fostering reconciliation and strengthening the alliance. They engaged in diplomatic efforts, facilitated dialogue between affected parties, and supported initiatives aimed at rebuilding and healing. Their efforts helped to restore stability and promote unity among the galaxy's diverse systems. The experience underscored the importance of cooperation and understanding in maintaining peace and progress. As the galaxy began to stabilize, Ioria and Clark reflected on their journey and the legacy they had built. Their discoveries and contributions had made a lasting impact, and their work continued to inspire others. They remained committed to their mission of exploration and discovery, driven by a passion for understanding the universe and advancing knowledge. Their research center continued to thrive, serving as a hub for innovation and collaboration. Ioria and Clark's legacy was not just in their achievements, but in their dedication to exploring new frontiers and fostering connections across the galaxy. Their story became a symbol of the power of curiosity, resilience, and the pursuit of knowledge. With their legacy established and their mission fulfilled, Ioria and Clark set their sights on new horizons. Their journey had been filled with challenges and triumphs, and they were ready to embrace the next chapter of their lives. They continued to explore new worlds and seek out new opportunities, driven by a sense of wonder and a commitment to making a difference. Their adventures took them to uncharted territories and introduced them to new cultures and civilizations. As they ventured into the unknown, Ioria and Clark remained united by their love and shared purpose. They faced each new challenge with optimism and courage, knowing that their journey was far from over. As Ioria and Clark gazed out at the stars from their ship, they knew that their adventure was an ongoing journey. Their experiences had shaped their lives and their legacy, and they were ready to continue exploring the vast expanse of the universe. Their story was one of love, discovery, and the pursuit of knowledge. It was a testament to the strength of their bond and their dedication to making a positive impact on the galaxy. With hearts full of hope and excitement, Ioria and Clark embraced the future, knowing that their journey was only the beginning. The universe was full of possibilities, and they were ready to explore every one of them. And so, as the stars shone brightly above, Ioria and Clark set forth on their next adventure, ready to write the next chapter of their remarkable story and continue their journey through the boundless wonders of the galaxy. As Ioria and Clark continued their journey through the galaxy, they began to encounter remnants of civilizations from ages long past. These encounters provided them with further insights into the galaxy's rich and diverse history. One particularly intriguing discovery was an ancient data repository hidden within a cave system on a remote planet. The repository contained records from a civilization known as the Lemurians, whose technological and cultural advancements had once been unparalleled. Ioria and Clark spent weeks deciphering the Lemurian data. They uncovered details about advanced technologies, philosophical ideas, and the Lemurians' eventual decline. This knowledge offered valuable lessons and warnings about the challenges of maintaining progress and harmony over time. The Lemurian records also contained references to a mysterious artifact known as the Celestial Beacon, said to hold immense power and knowledge. Ioria and Clark decided to investigate further, driven by the potential significance of this artifact. The search for the Celestial Beacon took Ioria and Clark to the far reaches of the galaxy. According to the Lemurian records, the artifact was hidden in a location known as the Void of Secrets, a region renowned for its perilous conditions and cosmic anomalies. Their journey through the Void of Secrets was fraught with challenges. They navigated through treacherous space phenomena, including gravitational anomalies and temporal distortions. The journey tested their skills and resilience, but their determination drove them forward. After an arduous quest, they finally discovered the Celestial Beacon, concealed within a hidden chamber on a desolate planet. The artifact was a magnificent construct, pulsing with a mysterious energy. Ioria and Clark carefully examined it, eager to unlock its secrets. The Celestial Beacon proved to be a remarkable find. It contained advanced knowledge and technology far beyond anything previously encountered. The artifact provided insights into energy manipulation, interstellar travel, and even aspects of universal consciousness. As they studied the beacon, Ioria and Clark discovered that it had the potential to revolutionize technology and enhance understanding of the universe. However, they also realized that such power came with great responsibility. The beacon's knowledge needed to be handled with care to avoid unintended consequences. They decided to share their findings with trusted allies and experts, ensuring that the knowledge from the beacon will be used wisely and for the benefit of all. They established a council of scholars and scientists to oversee the research and application of the beacon's insights. The knowledge from the celestial beacon sparked a new era of discovery and innovation across the galaxy. The advancements made possible by the beacon's technology led to a period of rapid progress and cultural renaissance. Ioria and Clark played a central role in guiding and facilitating this new wave of innovation. They continued their work at the Research Center, collaborating with leading minds to explore and implement the beacon's knowledge. The Renaissance brought about improvements in various fields, including medicine, energy, and space travel. The galaxy experienced a renewed sense of hope and optimism as new possibilities and opportunities emerged. As the Renaissance unfolded, Ioria and Clark worked to strengthen the unity of the galaxy. They promoted collaboration between different systems and factions, encouraging the sharing of knowledge and resources. Their efforts led to the formation of the Unity Council, an organization dedicated to fostering cooperation and addressing common challenges. The Council became a symbol of the galaxy's commitment to working together for the greater good. The Unity Council focused on various initiatives, including environmental sustainability, interstellar diplomacy, and cultural exchange. It provided a platform for addressing issues and finding solutions through collective effort. Amidst the flurry of activity and progress, Ioria and Clark took time to celebrate a personal milestone. They marked the anniversary of their first encounter and the beginning of their journey together. They organized a special event to commemorate the occasion, inviting friends, allies, and colleagues to join in the celebration. The event was a joyful occasion, filled with reflections on their journey and expressions of gratitude for the support they had received. As they looked back on their experiences, Ioria and Clark marveled at how far they had come. Their love and partnership had been the foundation of their success, and they cherished the bond that had sustained them through every challenge. With their personal and professional achievements celebrated, Ioria and Clark continued to look toward new horizons. Their journey had been marked by remarkable discoveries and transformative experiences, but they remained driven by a desire to explore and learn. They embarked on new adventures, seeking out uncharted territories and pursuing further knowledge. Their exploration continued to push the boundaries of what was known, uncovering new mysteries and opportunities. As they ventured into the cosmos, they were guided by their shared vision and commitment to making a positive impact. Their journey was an ongoing quest for discovery and understanding, fueled by their passion for exploration and their love for each other. As time passed, Ioria and Clark's legacy became a cherished part of galactic history. Their contributions to science, diplomacy, and unity had left an indelible mark on the galaxy. Their story was celebrated in various forms, from historical accounts to cultural tributes. Their achievements were remembered as a testament to the power of exploration, collaboration, and love. Ioria and Clark's legacy continued to inspire future generations. Their work had laid the groundwork for a brighter and more connected galaxy, and their journey served as a reminder of the potential for greatness within each individual. As Ioria and Clark looked out at the stars from their ship, they knew that their journey was far from over. The universe remained vast and full of possibilities, and they were eager to continue their exploration. Their adventures had taken them through remarkable experiences, but they were always ready for the next challenge. The infinite journey awaited them, filled with new discoveries and opportunities. With hearts full of excitement and a sense of boundless potential, Ioria and Clark set forth on their next adventure. Their story was one of endless exploration, a testament to the enduring spirit of discovery and the infinite possibilities of the cosmos. And so, under the vast expanse of the universe, Ioria and Clark continue their journey, embracing the unknown and exploring the wonders of the galaxy with unwavering curiosity and love.